Welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Namibia. Now, every 10th of October, annually, the world celebrates and sheds light on mental health. This year, the Apricus Wellness, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Social Services, will be commemorating World Mental Health Day at the maternity ward at the Windhoek Central Hospital. The objective of the event, inter alia, is to raise awareness on mental health. And joining us with more details, Madame Hambeleleni Matsi, the Director of Apricus Wellness. Good morning, ma'am, and welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning.
How are you doing on this gift of a Thursday?
It is a beautiful day. I woke up on a good note, good mental space. I'm very happy.
We're very happy to hear that.
Thank you.
What is the significance of World Mental Health Day? What is the significance specifically of commemorating this day annually on the 10th of October?
I think this is a date set apart just to commemorate and raise awareness on mental health. Look, I feel if you look at the diseases that are on the increase in Namibia or just on the world stage, mental health is one of them. And I feel like we are not doing enough to raise more awareness on mental health. And so what a beautiful day to start that is already set aside to just do that. Raise awareness on mental health. So I think it's important to celebrate just because of the need and really the urgency that we are seeing now with mental health.
Would you like to elaborate a bit on the need and the urgency that you're witnessing, as said earlier, not only in Namibia, but in fact globally?
I think if you look at let's look at the suicide rates in Namibia in the past 12 months. It's on an increase. We have never seen a suicide at such rates. And I feel because there's so many issues, one is looking at social media influence, one is looking at our lifestyle, one is looking at the economy. Sometimes it plays a role, especially when it comes to men. And we are just seeing really an increase in suicide. Is very alarming. And although I always say like depression and suicide is your extreme spectrum of mental health. But we need to just take care of our own mental health, and everybody has got an aspect of mental health that we need to look into: forgiveness, dealing with trauma, dealing with loss, overwork, too much stress. All those are aspects of mental health that each and everybody of us have to deal with every day. And I think it's important that we start really just deciding to do that. Yeah.
How did the partnership with the Ministry of Health and Social Services come about?
The partnership started in 2019. So we approached the ministry and we said, look, the nurses and doctors, we wanted to do something for the nurses and doctors, look at how much work they do. And in 2019, we did an outreach at Katutura Hospital. And the feedback that we got was just amazing that we wanted to do the partnership again. And unfortunately, COVID struck, we were not able to do it the past few years. But now we said, look, let's continue doing it. It's a partnership that we also not just want to do, but also we want to be a good corporate citizen as an entity, especially because we are an entrepreneurial entity. So it's important to us to do that.
Thank you for that overview. And today you'll be at the maternity ward at the Windhoek Central Hospital. What are the main objectives of that engagement?
Today, the theme for this year is mental health at the workplace. So we are really just going to be celebrating our nurses and doctors at the maternity hospital. But also, I think it's an opportunity for us to talk to them about the importance of them talking about mental health to their clients. They have a very interesting group of patients or clients that they reach to, the maternity clients. And we have got maternal mental health that is not really spoken about enough, in my view, in Namibia, and also issues of postpartum, and they can talk these issues with the new mothers. We are not able to reach them, so they are strategically positioned, if I can say, to be able to do that and raise more awareness on especially maternal mental health that I feel that we need to raise more awareness on, and also just to celebrate them. And I think it's going to be an amazing day.
In pursuit of those very noble objectives, what are the activities that you will be focusing on?
So we're going to be focusing on massages that that's going to be done to the nurses and doctors. And our massage sessions are very special because we couple them with meditation. So once they are busy doing the massages, they're also going through a meditation practice, which I think is so important when it comes to mental health, to just take time out to meditate, to put your mind in a positive mind so that you are productive. So once we are doing that, the National Diagnostic Laboratory DiagnoLab has sponsored us with HbA1c testing. So if you look at some of the diseases that are on the increase, is also diabetes. So it's important that we do a screening for glucose, which is just a sugar testing, but then HbA1c is sort of a step further because it looks at the average of glucose for the past 2 to 3 months. So it's a very good screening tool when we want to look at diabetes and not diagnose it early. So once some nurses are doing meditation and massages, some of them will be doing their testing for HbA1c. And we're very thankful for that sponsorship and partnership. So it's going to be an amazing day because we are not only going to focus on mental health and the awareness of mental health, but we are also going to be focusing on diabetes that's on the increase, and screening and testing our healthcare workers. So if they are, we can diagnose early and treat.
What I'm hearing you say is that you will be adopting a holistic approach to holistic wellness, holistic well-being, holistic health. What is it that we need to do in pursuit of such holistic well-being, wellness and health in terms of sensitizing our community members more, in terms of creating more awareness amongst our community members?
Look, I think one of the biggest misconceptions about mental health, to be more specific, is that people think that mental health is when somebody is suicidal or when somebody is in a depression state. We don't take note that mental health is a concept that all of us are dealing with every day. Let's say, for example, when two people meet, I ask you, how are you? And I mean, the default is I'm fine. But if you ask me, really, you lost your mother last week, or really you lost your job last week, or really you went through this issue, how are you really doing? You'll be surprised how I'm going to answer you differently, because then you are sort of provoking me to go really deeper to think, how am I really doing? And when it comes to health, I think most of us just focus on physical health, but there's such an importance of mental health that we don't deal with. And even if you are 100% physically, if your mental health is challenged, you are not going to be very productive. So I think we need to just not just raise awareness, but educate more about the importance of merging physical health and mental health so that we can be a more productive country, especially at the workplace.
Indeed. The focus for this year's commemoration being mental health in the workplace is not without significance, because there is a school of thought that because one spends so much time at the workplace, that it could be a source of both solace, but also a source of great tribulations as far as your mental health is concerned. It could in fact aggravate mental illness. What's your take?
My take is, and I'm going to talk from the perspective of an entrepreneur, because I'm an entrepreneur, I run entrepreneurial entities. We thrive and we try and create teams that can work together to thrive, to produce. One of my biggest mantra as an entrepreneur is teamwork makes the dream work. So it's important to get together a group of people that can work together, that can thrive together for the entity to be able to thrive. But even with that, with all the knowledge that I know, it's very difficult sometimes to get good teams of people that can work together. So if the team is not working together, then conflict at the workplace start to arise. And when the conflict are not resolved, negotiations are not done earlier so that these issues are resolved, then it ends into a workplace not being a very fruitful place. It's a workplace where people don't really want to go to. It's a workplace where people wake up in the morning and they are drained just because I'm going to work. So we are challenged to really create teams. And I think it's important that for each and every one of us, we take care of our own mental health, because if you don't take care of your own mental health, you're about to bring your problems to work. And when one person brings problems to work all the time, you can just imagine what happens at the workplace. So these are all challenges that we are facing, but I think we need to work on. And I think one of the challenges that I'm seeing a lot with my employees that are Gen Zs, there is a very important aspect of mental health that is triggered by social media. I had one of my employees who came to me so agitated and so anxious. And then I asked, what is wrong? Do you need time off to go to work? And she said she posted something on social media, and no one liked it or no one shared it, and so she was in anxiety. So they are dealing with a different kind of triggers of mental health that we in our generation, we didn't really have. So we have all these different aspects of mental health that I really, really think that we need to take seriously. Otherwise, we are going to be looking at our future leaders who mentally probably not so very strong.
What does the program for today look like?
The program for today is, we're going to start off with massage sessions coupled with meditation. And then we are also going to be having our HbA1c testing for until 12 o'clock. At 12:30, the Executive Director of the Ministry of Health is going to come and give us a word to commemorate the day. And then, of course, we have a small program just for the sponsors and for the nurses and doctors, and then we're going to be served with lunch.
Beautiful. You flagged one of the misconceptions of mental health or mental illness earlier. Which are the other misconceptions that you encounter about mental health, about mental illness, about wellness?
I think it's more about, more of the fact, like I say, that most of the time people are more focused on physical health than mental health. And also the fact that people think mental health is not about me, it's about them, it's about that person, it's about the one who wants to commit suicide, it's about the one who's depressed. I think we just all need to realize that we all have mental health. I'm not saying we are all crazy, but mental health doesn't mean we are crazy. It just means it's like an aspect, like we say physical health, there's mental health. So there's need to make sure that we meditate, there's need to make sure that we heal, there's need to make sure that we work on ourselves so we can come at the place of peace.
Any final thoughts before we let you go? You have a busy day ahead of you.
Yes, I think my final words would just be, if I would just really take this time to call, like sort of give a call to action for everybody who's listening, that we need to surround ourselves with positive energy, we need to surround ourselves with positive vibes. We need to make sure that we really take the work that is needed to master the art of forgiveness. We need to make sure that we deal with trauma from our past experiences so that we can have a platform to enjoy our new season that we're experiencing and not carry so much from the past. And I think it's just important, like I said, let's practice gratitude. It's such an important game changer for me, and let us take charge of our mental health. And I think also, just before I go, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. We have the National Diagnostic Laboratory that sponsored us today. We have Gondwana Collection Namibia. We have Willa Football. We have Choppies. We have Dance Safari. We've got ProMed, and of course Apricus in partnership with the Ministry of Health.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the great initiative.
And
it may be a resounding success.
And thank you very much for having me. And remember, take charge of your own mental health.
You have the NBC. It's ours.
It's ours indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you have it, Madam Hambeleleni Matsi, Director at Apricus Wellness, with a very important message that we need to take charge of our mental well-being. Tapai was standing by with the news at 7.